Hey guys, welcome back to the second part of the composition tutorial where we are using basic techniques to fully render our hand drawing. So we're going to finish up our drawing that we started last week. In this tutorial, we'll be focusing mostly on rendering contrast and value. If you need to review any of the information that we've covered so far, check out the What is Composition tutorial and the practicing composition tutorial from last week. The materials that you'll need are right here. If you have higher B pencils, such as 4B or 6B or even higher, you'll be able to render much darker values in your work this week. So let's go ahead and get started. In my previous video, I had mentioned that I wanted to go back and include an extra hand gesture in the bottom left part of the drawing. So this is what I'm doing here at the beginning, just to help with the visual balance of my composition. Again, utilizing all of the techniques that we learned in the first unit when we were talking about proportion, such as the compare and the align technique. You will be using the hatching and cross-hatching techniques to render a range of values in your drawings to show contrast. If you need to review these techniques, look back at the video hatching and cross-hatching that we had gone over during the unit on proportion. I'm using a 4B pencil from here on out to render the values because of how dark you can get them. I usually start with a 2B pencil to render all of the contours and the outlines first. Also, after applying a layer of value with the 4B pencil, I then use a 6B pencil to apply darker layers. You can actually continue to do this with even darker pencils, an 8B, a 10B, and you'll notice that you can get very, very solid and very dark with the contrast in your work. What I've decided to do is to render the negative space, or another word for negative space is the background, very dark with a 6B pencil to show nice contrast between the highlights in the hands and also the background. I'm also including a bit of a shadowed area around any hands that are being overlapped by other hands. Doing this helps you to give your composition a sense of depth and realistic space. So here's my composition up to this point. You can see that including a dark value or a range of dark values in the negative space helps make the details and the lighter values and the highlights in the hands stand out, and it makes it very intense, which this is a good example of what contrast is. Doing this also gives you an opportunity to render details in the hands and what you've drawn in your composition, just to show realistic depth and space. This is something that you can try as you experiment with using contrast and darker values of pencil.